What's up, everybody? Welcome back for another episode of Backyard Country Living. Got another new item to demonstrate today. The nice folks at Garvee have once again sent me a product to demonstrate and see what I think about it and show it to all of you followers out there, or viewers out there. So this is the heavy-duty debris forks that clamp onto your tractor bucket or your skid steer bucket or whatever machine you may have that has a bucket. But yeah, we just got these things out of the box, clamped them on, and we're going to take a look at them. We'll talk about the dimensions and the specs on them a little bit, and then I've got, I don't know, maybe a dozen or so of things that you could use these for. To me, it's kind of like maybe if you don't have a grapple, and they can be quite expensive, $3,000 or $4,000 depending on which models you get. Maybe if you don't want to spend the money for that, pallet forks are another something that would be similar to what these can do. And they're, I don't know, $800 to $1,000 depending on what you get. So to me, this kind of falls in the middle. It's kind of like the multi-tool for the bucket. That allows you, to pick up debris, to pick up some logs or rocks or whatever the case may be. So yeah, it's kind of in between and very, very affordable. I believe on Garvee's website, and I will leave a link in the description, and there is a discount code. I'll give you that. But I believe on their website, this particular one, and these are the 58-inch because I have a 66-inch bucket. So, and they have multiple different sizes on there. But anyway, these are, I believe, $329 on their website, and if you use the discount code BACKY10, that's BACKY 10, and I'll put that at the bottom of the screen for you, then you will get a discount of 10%. So makes it where for around $300, I believe they have free shipping as well. That you can get a attachment to go on your bucket that's easy, quick on and off. I'll show you how that works. But yeah, it makes it a nice little multi-tool for the bucket to be able to do stuff to save the old back, if you know what I mean. So we'll come in close here and look at the dimensions and everything, and then we'll put it to use. Alright, I do have a little cheat sheet here to make sure I didn't get any of the spec information wrong. But I tell you what, these things are heavy duty. They really are. I want to say they were somewhere in the neighborhood of 92 pounds. Now they have a rating of 4,000 pounds, and I'll be honest, I'm not exactly sure how that is measured as far as, obviously this tractor, won't even lift half of that. So there's no concerns there, but if you had it on a heavier machine, I'm guessing, you could put up to 4,000 pounds on there, but there again, obviously you got to worry about, bending your bucket and stuff like that. So yeah, I can't speak to exact how that 4,000 number was measured or come up with, but I can definitely attest to they are very heavy duty. So anyway, it looks like we got about 6 tines on here. And according to the specs, they are about 9 inches apart, I believe it was, somewhere in that range. And let's just do a little bit of measuring here. And it looks like they come out about 21 inches is, the length of the tines. And yeah, so 9 inches apart there, as you can see. And yeah, the welds all look good. And of course, they just slide right on the bucket. Now I did have my big expanded tooth bar on here, and I almost say it would slide over that and work with that, but obviously you don't want to risk damaging your tooth bar or damaging your bucket, and then of course with the tooth bar that puts them further out. So I didn't even attempt to try to put it on there with the tooth bar. So I think pop the 2 screws out, 2 bolts out, clamped it right on there. So you can see it's got these heavy duty bolts here. And one thing I like about these is these push through bolts, when you're ratcheting down there. I've seen some of them that this is a fixed, like an L shape, and then if you're out here close close to the edge of your bucket, then that little handle will end up hitting the side of the bucket. But these slide through. You can even take these off if you needed to or whatever. But yeah, it is definitely heavy duty. So as I say, this was the 66-inch bucket, 58-inch model. So got it pretty close to. So yeah, we got roughly 4 inches, you know, clearance on each side there that, you know, before it hits the sides or whatever. So first impressions, it's a nice attachment for, you know, a very affordable price to be able to do some quick cleanup type work. So all right, we're gonna get busy and see if we can demonstrate a little bit.
Okay, I thought I'd do a little voiceover here on you know, demonstrating some of the different uses of these debris forks. So there you can see a pile of limbs and stuff that we trimmed up off some river birch trees, and you know, able to scoop those right up. And one thing I did learn is, you know, you don't want to make those limb piles too large, because you know, as you pick it up, a lot of it, you know, might tend to fall off or whatever. And it's probably better too is if you make the piles, maybe to put some of the larger limbs on the bottom, some that, you know, have a tendency to keep it up off the ground a little bit, so that it's easier to get the forks underneath. Definitely makes it easier to scoop it up. So there you can see, you can just taking it around to a spot there in the corner of the edge of the woods there to dump it. You can see that pile there was almost too large. Got to lose some of it, but yeah, if you keep the piles compact, helps it make an easier job. So there's an old picnic table. Just, you know, a lot of this depends on if the tines line up to get under whatever you're trying to do. But that's something I probably would have normally, you know, the pallet forks, if I wanted to move that, you know, by myself to or whatever. But as you can see there, you know, the debris forks work just as good to go up and grab it and move it around. Now here I'm just showing, this is a little spot in the garden that you can do a little back dragging. You obviously want to be careful here, because if you apply a lot of down pressure there, you know, you could bend something. But this is, you know, this is really soft soil here, so you know, maybe if you're trying to just scratch up the soil a little bit, you're going to sow some seeds or whatever for, you know, some kind of garden spot, or like a salad patch or something like that you might plant in the fall in your garden. You want to scratch up the dirt there. So it does work to break up things a little bit, you know, doing back dragging. These are some old landscape timbers there. We had made some kind of flower boxes or flower beds, 4x8 boxes there, and so just something odd like that, you can just go up, once again, get underneath it, scoop it up, move it around. And here, just showing, you know, just some general odd job. Bunch of boxes, you know, Amazon truck. I won't say nothing about that, how often that stops here. But yeah, you just scoop them up. There's a piece of farm equipment, you know, something that goes on the 3-point of the tractor. Once again, you know, if you can get under it there, be able to, you know, just pick that up and move it around. So it really does make a handy tool. Like I said, turns the bucket into a lot more useful sort of a multi-tool situation. And there, you know, that's just demonstrating that you can get a pallet. And of course there's a, you know, IBC tote sitting on top of this pallet. So, you know, sort of a 2-for-1 there. But yeah, you can just move odd stuff like that as well. And this is an old, back in the days, many years ago, a lot of you might remember CB antennas, or CBs were popular, the radios. And so this is an old antenna that used to be on the property, antenna tower. So yeah, there again, something odd like that. You can grab it and move it around. And there's a little bit larger limb, much larger than the small debris we were doing earlier. But yeah, just showing you can pick up larger stuff as well. Move it. That's an old oil drum. Back in the day when we had the old tobacco barns, we used to cure the tobacco with oil. So there again, once again, an odd item that you have trouble picking up, by yourself or whatever. Just get right under it and curl it back, kind of falls back into the bucket. Works good. And then here's just a log pile with various size logs. And first I'll get a smaller one here, and then you'll see it come back for a second turn there and grab a good handful of them. So yeah, that's a pretty good load right there. And this is just a little bench just down at the pond, just so you can move that around. But once again, you just got to use it for its intended purposes and just be cautious of, not trying to bend anything on your bucket.
All right, everybody, that's going to about wrap it up for the Garvee debris forks. I have to say, I'm impressed. I think they did a good job for what they're intended to do. Definitely built well. I would definitely say that. And yeah, like I said, you gotta use it what it's intended for. But I hope I showed that there were several uses. Almost turns your bucket into a multi-tool for your tractor, so to speak. Because most all of these utility tractors, come standard with the loader bucket. So this is an inexpensive way to add something to it that makes it more versatile and gives you a lot more uses rather than just hauling dirt or mulch or whatever you would do normally with your bucket. So yeah, and I think I forgot to mention earlier that they are powder coated, a black powder coat. So yeah, as I say, please go on Garvee.com. Check out, they've got many other things in their on their website, outdoor furniture, kids toys, not just things for attachments for your tractor, but lots of stuff. Once again, there's a link in the description for these. You can click on that, take you straight to them, and then if you use that discount code BACKY10, BACKY10, then you'll get 10% off, and you should be able to get these bad boys for just a fraction under $300. And for that, I think it makes a nice addition to your bucket. So all right, well, I really appreciate y'all joining me. I hope this video is helpful to you in some way, and don't forget, hit the like and subscribe, and catch you on the next one.